All right, in this video, we're going to be talking about how can we sort a list, whether that be numerically or alphabetically. So we're going to go over the two ways that Python kind of gives us in order to accomplish this. We have a function, we also have a method. And before we get into it, let's go ahead and take a look at our file folder setup. I am in the Python folder inside lessons, and inside the lessons folder, I have a file called lists-sorting.py. Now, I do have some notes up here for us to go through. Sorting in Python, like I said, we get two ways to go about this. We have a function called sorted, and then we have a method called sort. They do have differences, and we're going to go over that. But first, let's go ahead and take a look at the sort method. And the reason that it's a method is we're utilizing dot notation on the object. So the way that we're going to work this is we're going to take the list name that you see right here. So we have a list name, and then we're going to provide with a dot and then the sort and then left and right parentheses in order to accomplish this. So our list name for this happens to be the numbers, and then we're going to utilize, again, that dot sort with left and right parentheses. Now we're going to print out these numbers here. And so I'm just going to go ahead and save it and run it. And now you can see that numerically we have it set up where it's a 1, 2, 3, or 5, and 6, and then a 9, right? So we have effectively sorted this with just one line of code. Now, something that I do want to bring your attention to, and it's very specific for the method. Says the sort method can be used to sort a list, and it modifies the original list that's in place. So if we were to ever reference some sort of index up above this line of code prior to sorting it, we will get this, right? And let's go ahead and do that right now. We can go ahead and print out numbers square bracket 0, right? And we're going to get the 5 if we do this. So let me go ahead and highlight this and run it. So we do get 5. Now, after we do the sort, if we try to do that same thing, we're no longer going to get 5. And so that's why this right here, we're destroying the original and referencing something new. So it comes into play. So if you do happen to get quizzed on something, you're running your logic and you're wondering, why was this one 5 up above? And then after you did a sort, 0 position index is no longer 5. So just keep that in mind as you're utilizing this. The next thing that I wanted to show you is we are able to do this on strings as well. And so let's go ahead and create a list here of fruits, just like we've been using in these past few videos here. So we have these fruits here. We would like to sort them alphabetically. And we can do that utilizing the exact same thing that we learned above. Again, learning programming is all about trying to follow patterns. And so if we do the fruits.sort, Python is smart enough to know, hey, this needs to be alphabetized based off of the letters here. So if I highlight that, save it, we do get apple, banana, cherry, and date. Now, one of the issues that we run into a lot is what happens if we have mixed casing in our fruits. And so if I were to come and do the exact same thing that we did earlier, I'm going to go ahead and provide you with a new one here. So we have uppercase and lowercase strings. We have banana, right? And we have with a capital B. I have an apple with the lowercase a. And then I also have this over here, avocado, with an uppercase a. So how do we look at this? Well, if we're following the same patterns from before, so if I were to copy this and paste it, this is what I end up getting. It's not the desired result here. I do get avocado, but then I also get the uppercase banana, then I get apple, cherry, and date. And obviously that is not a way of alphabetizing this. And this all happens to go back into how a computer translates these characters, and it takes a look at it's almost like their ASCII code on how we are sorting string characters. So is there a way, or is there a workaround around it? And so the way that we have to go about it is we have to do something like this. Inside of the sort, we're able to extract a key. It's almost, think of this as we're looping through this entire list and we're trying to pull out a key value to sort. And we're telling in Python, we're saying, hey, every one that you get, I want you to take the string of that and I want you to lowercase it and kind of compare it. And that's what it's really doing behind the scenes here. So if I were to highlight this and run it, we will get the proper sorting of apple, avocado, banana, cherry, and date. And notice that it did keep intact the upper cases and lowercase. So it didn't modify it, but as far as the comparison goes, it is converting them all to lowercase first, and then the comparison's happening on the fly and looping through this entire list and comparing one to another. So again, scope a thing. If you're wondering how do we bypass this ASCII look, is we first have to convert them all to something that is similar in comparison. Likewise, we could have converted this all to uppercase, but lowercase is probably the tradition here. All right, moving on. Let's go ahead and take a look at the sorted function. And let me pull that up here. So as far as the function, right, this is not a method. We're doing a function now. And the reason why it's a function is notice that, hey, this is now on the outside and we're encapsulating the list, right? We're providing the list as a parameter or as an argument. And that's what makes it a function. This example list here, just like we did before, we're going to utilize the sorted on it. So one thing to keep in mind with utilizing the sorted function is it doesn't modify the original list. And that's what makes this super important when we're going through this. So we can show this to you. We can demonstrate this to you. If I highlight this and run it, notice that my sorted numbers, which happens to be printed first, right? And then I have the original numbers that I'm referencing there, and it's unmodified. And this might be probably the more preferred way of going about it. So that way you're not modifying the original data. But again, just know some of the pros and cons with each of them. Sorted returns something. We have to store it in a variable if we want to utilize it later on. So that is the sorted function. Now, there are ways to reverse sorting as well. And I'll show you examples of both of these. So reverse sorting here. If we needed to reverse this, I'll put some numbers up here. Notice that our method here, the dot sort, can take an argument. It's an optional one. And we set the reverse to equal to true, to a Boolean, right? And when we go through this, highlight this and run it, it's now in reverse order. Likewise, when we're doing the sorting or the sorted one with the function, we do a couple things that are different, right? We do have to supply it the list, and then we supply it with the optional reverse, that to true. And again, just like before, it doesn't change the original. It preserves it. So that way, if you do need to use it in the future, it's still there for you. Okay. So a lot has been said over sorting. Like I said, you'll use this sparingly and just know about the side effects of utilizing either the function or the method. Below this video, you'll see a little table going over some of the pros and cons associated with utilizing the function versus utilizing the method. All right, we'll see you in the next video.